This is Unlock Your Soul podcast, a platform where we get to scratch beneath the surface and find out what really makes us human. The power of purpose, of holding on to our passion no matter what storms we face. Well, think about this, yeah. Your parents want you to be an engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, a teacher, and then you decide, no, I'm going to sew clothes, and you are a guy in Africa. You know what? This is Kaveke's story. Welcome to Unlock Your Soul with Anto Neosoul. This is where we get to scratch the surface and, get to know more about those personalities who we like, and maybe sometimes we don't like them, but we just want to know more about them. Do we like you?
Yeah. The fact that we are sitting next to each other is just uncomfortable.
Anyway, I'm at the beautiful NSK, that's Nairobi Street Kitchen, as usual. This is our lovely partner for season 1, and we're at Spilt Milk, which is a very nice, beautiful place for how you're having your breakfast or your brunch. So if you want to have a meeting, if you want to have, a date or whatever. When was the last time you took someone on a date? Wow, you've been off the market for that long. Anyway, welcome to Unlock Your Soul with Anto Neosoul. So today, I'm with one of Kenya's finest exports, and we're talking about finest fashion designers. In fact, this amazing robe that I'm wearing that I got to perform with in Mauritius was made by this gentleman right next to me here. His name is one and only John Kaveke. How did you, first and foremost, since I know you live very far from here, how did you make it to Westlands?
Well, thank you for having me. I did change my location recently, but purely because of having what I call a minimal life.
Yeah.
So basically adjusting to the way what you value.
Yeah.
The baggage we carry, yet we don't need them. So, so I think time of COVID, those people who had time to reflect and not grumble about the disease and the side effects and whatnot.
Yeah.
We took time to analyze and to see what really works for you, what you don't need and what you need.
Yeah.
What's important and what's not important.
Yeah.
So I decided, Nairobi seems to be a place that's overcrowded for me. There's no inspiration as much as it used to be. So I left the city and moved just past Thika, which is, bought a piece of land there, and I'm slowly building a sanctuary for myself. Because it's very important your balance, your peace of mind, your willingness. So
but also you've always been like, I think since you were born, you've always like been moving up and down. I mean, the fact that you are half, for the longest time I always thought you're fully Kamba, until I had to speak Kikuyu. Then I was like, what is happening? Then I realized you actually have Kikuyu, half Kamba, which means you've sort of always dabbled in different cultures, different perspectives, different beliefs.
Yeah.
And then also going to study in Spain and studying fashion, traveling. Talk to us about your upbringing and how being raised in two different sort of, tribal cocoons, how that has influenced you.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned, because first and foremost, yes, my dad being Kikuyu and then my mom being Kamba.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is me and my elder brother were raised in Mombasa in our early childhood. So we also got an influence of the Swahili vibe as well.
Lakini mbona sijasikia ukiongea Kiswahili sanifu?
Well.
Ama unatumia tu Kiswahili kupata wa mama.
I only use it for
wa mama.
Wa mama wa Mombasani. Sounds like a nice rendition.
Yeah, wa Mombasani.
Yeah.
Cult with Kaveke. Yeah.
So this has been interesting because then, when you talk about someone not really being inspired by just one culture, I'm pretty one of the examples because growing up in the coast, then moving to the city, living in Isili in the beginning, and then moving in those days in the 70s, if you were living in somewhere like Parklands was like the uptown. So all these things. And then I think because also my parents, each of them was very different. My dad was very specific about, we never actually got a chance to learn the language because my dad was mostly Kiswahili or English.
Okay.
My mom, on the other hand, equally that, but the moment the switch goes from Swahili to mother tongue, things are thick.
So the switch of language is when things
are hot. Yeah, but what was interesting is that I still have a love for the coast. And so I've been in, and then obviously being in the fashion scenes, traveled. So you have all these cultures, heritage, people who inspire you in one way, and being an artist, it's good for you to be very aware of where you are and what the people are. So these were all a mixture of all this, and that's why people tend to struggle to understand when they meet me, they're not so sure where I come from.
You could be easily, I always tell you could be easily South African, and South Africans always think you're theirs. You could easily be South African and mix and nobody would tell. So when was your first touch point with fashion? When did you sort of feel or experience fashion and design and you were like, this is what I want, this is me, I love colors, I love design, I love texture, I love the way it feels, the way it cuts. When did that happen?
I would say because as a child I used to be an artist. I used to draw a lot. For those who were in that era, there used to be a program called Joy Bringers. It was a Christian channel, having grown up in a Christian environment. So in one of the programs they used to have, kids used to send drawings, and then if you have a really good drawing, they put it up on the TV, so we get excited. So the talent of drawing was there. But I would say from high school, I started getting curious about what else can I do with my skill of drawing. And I think this was the first time that really made sense for me, because I used to actually make fun, because when everybody was doing the
microphone,
when everybody was concentrating on the answers for their final exams, I just answered a few questions, and the rest of the time I was either drawing the invigilator or I was drawing an outfit.
So and now the fact that you have kids, how do you tell your kids to study or be serious in school when you yourself you are never serious in school? Please, now that your kids know today, now they're watching, how do you become serious? How do you tell your kids to become serious?
I think I give them the best of both worlds, because I'm very real with them, because I don't try to pretend the world is perfect, or I try to tell them that I was a perfect person. No,
I was number one.
I was,
Every one of our African parents was number one in school.
Yes.
And I'm like, who was number two? Because everyone I meet was number one. Were you the only one in that school? And then sometimes your parents do some things, you're like, there's no you're number one. You're dumb.
So I think for my kids, it was just a conversation, and I think that's what's beautiful about being able to, be very real with yourself, and understanding that your influence is not about authority. Your influence is being very real with your kids. So I used to tell them my stories. This is what I used to do, but I also let them know that I was very sure what I wanted in life, even if I was in some people's eyes, they saw me as a joker. But I was actually cultivating my future through what? And, having parents who were somehow accommodative. I wouldn't say 100% accommodative.
Yeah.
It was then easier for me to actually now pursue that as a career. So even for them, I tell them, this is how I build myself to where I am.
Yeah.
But it was not easy. But if you are committed to your vision, you are committed to your purpose, then I've got nothing I can really. It's just for me to support you.
So now you're doing the exams, you are busy sketching. And speaking of which, the reason why we have this sketch pad here is because I want you to sort of like sketch for us. I don't know what you're gonna sketch the way you normally do when you're doing when you're sketching like an outfit for me or like for a fashion week or something.
Yeah.
So now you're in school sketching your invigilator instead of doing your molds and exam or whatever. But then this becomes your reality. You then, right after Form 4, what happens? Where's your pen?
My pen is,
you want to use my pen or you?
My pen. No, I have my
There is
fancy
your
pen. I can't use cheap pen.
This is not a cheap pen, by the way.
It's a branded pen.
Whatever, man. So now, this is not branded.
It is not branded. Look.
This is owned by gel pen because it's Chinese.
Yeah, it's not a gel pen.
Made in China.
It's an art pen. I mean,
so now,
my pen, it's actually white. Yours is black.
Dude, this is every day of when we meet. This is how we behave. So you now are moving from drawing invigilators to the one to being invigilated now by the best of the best fashion teachers and design teachers in Spain and whatever.
Yeah.
How do you, because a lot of people, I think when it comes to opportunity, a lot of people assume when they hear your story, they assume, I'm good, so I'll end up in Spain, I'll end up in Italy, I'll end up in London. How do you transition from this Form 4 kid who just wants to leave school and design to now is actually doing it in Spain? Who did you bribe?
That time money didn't have so much value, so there was no one to bribe.
Yeah.
Other than the cop or the teacher.
Yeah.
Everybody on my path. No, I'm just kidding. No, well, what I'd say, Anto, in simple terms is, my driving force was not so much to get approval from people. My driving force is, this is my path.
Yeah.
If somebody notices it, my skill, I call that a bonus.
Yeah.
I embrace it, but I don't marinate in it. I just hang in there and move on to the next project. So I was always driven by me reaching a certain goal that I've attained, that I've put for myself.
Yeah.
So along the way, if something came up, like, I got an invite. And I think this was why maybe there was a lot of interest in me, because they could see this is not just about someone who wants to conquer the fashion industry.
Yeah.
This is someone who wants to also has a conquest for himself as an individual. So if that becomes your core, that you want to conquer the potential, your purpose, your full potential here on earth, other people will see that. And that's when they appreciate, because that's a token of appreciation. When you're invited to showcase, it's a token of appreciation, and that's what you do. You're driven by your purpose, your individual purpose,
and you're illuminating your path. And when you do so, along the way, people will sort of gravitate.
Yes.
And you come from, when you talk about like growing up in the 70s in Parklands, for me, to be honest, it's quite shocking, because when people, I don't want to say your age on camera, but you don't age.
Season.
Was it easier then? Because there was no social media and all those things. Guys, he wasn't like, we're not talking about like the 1970. He was like 20 years. We don't mean that. Don't go thinking Kaveke is like an old male. By the way, Kaveke, are you eligible for Inua Jamii? So for the diaspora audience, Inua Jamii is an initiative by the government to give money to the elderly.
No, the one elderly just says, no, I'm not.
By the way, let me tell you, you should be making 8,000 Kenya shillings per month.
Stucky. No.
And do you know you're eligible for health insurance for free? All the tests, X-ray, everything.
Yeah, but now I look like I'm withering or something. I'm not.
This is to show you good Kamba and Kikuyu genes. This guy does not grow old. But was it easier then, as you're illuminating your path, as you're making a path for yourself? Because to me, what I want to know and what I'm trying to scratch to reveal your soul is, with your parents wondering, okay, what is this? With fashion and tailoring really just sort of a preserve for women, with even textiles and all that stuff really just seen as this is a thing for women, that they're the ones who chart the path for us.
Yeah.
How do you convince people around you? How do you illuminate this path without people thinking, this is a phase, he'll get out, he'll bored with it, and then he'll go back and work as an accountant or something, or a farmer?
Okay. Actually, that's a very good question, Anto, because
as I get you your tea,
people are, I would say, very fortunate.
Or do you want it with the whole?
No. Just
give us the tea as you drink your
now
tea.
Now, where would you expect?
Just hold it.
Yeah, I don't know. These people who have never lived in Ushago, they don't know these things. You can't have tea and talk at the same time.
Oh, are you sure?
No.
What do you mean? Can I show you?
No, don't. Go get your own tea.
You know me, I can talk.
Go and get your own tea.
I can
put it there. Put it there.
You know me, I can talk and eat and drink.
Me, I like to enjoy my tea because I want to feel every spice, whatever they've used inside.
So tell us about this spice of your life. Yeah.
So, this is a very good question, and I would start by saying that now things because everything has become put in a small little box that you can find everything.
Yeah.
You can you can do stuff without having to be questioned so much.
Yeah.
And I remember myself when the first time I actually I went to my folks and told them that. And by the time I was telling them, I actually had gone to the fashion school and done the interview and passed the interview. And because I'd done my research to find out that the fashion school really didn't require my grades for school. It was so much to do with understanding the skill and the talent. So I did my interview. So by the time I spoke to my parents, I was actually presenting to them a letter.
Wow.
That I've been accepted to a fashion school.
Wow. And that's in Spain now?
No, that was here.
Here in Nairobi.
When I was now starting my journey as a fashion designer. Yeah. So I went to a school called Woodgrove. It doesn't exist anymore, but that's where I went. And when I told them, the immediate reaction, first my dad, he was like, that's like a feminine, is that really a profession?
Yeah.
Or are you, because the irony was, so where we were staying in Parklands, so we were in the modern days, what they call apartments. Those days they used to call them flats.
Yeah. But those ones were flats because they were big. They were
spacious, very spacious.
Yeah. But you were bougie. You were growing up in Parklands with those days.
But we lived 4 of us in one room.
Really? Wow, guys. Let's clap for Kaveke for suffering. For people in one room, you're really struggling.
Yeah.
What do you mean? People,
double deckers.
There's police officers. There's Kenyan police officers. 4 families, not 4 police officers, 4 families who live in one house, one room. So don't say it like you're struggling.
I don't think us guys really suffer.
You were just bougie and needy as a kid.
No.
Because you're creative. You wanted your space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I felt my siblings are like...
Or compared to other kids like you're growing up with then.
Yeah.
Because you went to primary school, Hospital Hill, which school?
No, Parklands.
Still. Them, they were probably like living in mansions.
No, my neighbors, the guys who actually had the same kind of... They all had rooms.
Yeah. And so you are suffering.
No, I wasn't suffering.
Guys, this guy, you don't know, I'm realizing that I've been hanging out with you. I've been thinking we're the same. You are a spoiled brat.
No.
I am so surprised.
We were spoiled in the sense that, my dad specifically always made a major effort. And every time he kept telling us, kids, whatever I'm providing to you guys, when you guys grow, I do not expect you to be in the same level as me. You have to elevate yourself. So for us, it was not like we are not in any way privileged or anything. We were always just motivated by him, reminding us. And
but here he is thinking, after all this motivation, you've decided you want to go and cut clothes.
Anataka kuwa fundi.
Yeah, because that's the thing. They just see tailor.
Yes.
But they don't even, there's not even, they don't even, in Swahili, we don't even use the right word for tailor. We just say fundi.
Fundi.
To mean you're like a blacksmith. What are you doing? What are you trying?
And now this guy who was down there was a guy who was just doing basic repairs. You know that tailor, that kajama you'd peleka your trouser that probably you have refused to let go,
or
and
you're
then
suffering,
he mends
double stitch.
So now my dad was like, then I told him how much the fees was. Then he's telling me, you want us to pay that kind of money so that you can come and be like this guy down here? I'm like, Dad, hold up. This guy cannot even employ him if I ever become a big superstar. He cannot qualify because he's not trained to be a tailor in that way. So even a real tailor, because I've done my homework, and this is what is important. Do your homework. Do your research. Make sure by the time you're presenting yourself or saying something about it, you have to show that you have actually done your homework and research. So by the time I spoke to him, and my mom was there, and my mom at the time, in those days, she in the 70s, having a sewing machine is like having a Vitz.
It was like
a big deal. So my mom had
it's your first thing you buy for yourself. You get a loan. There's that place you used to get a loan from. I've forgotten the name. I don't know if it's Amido Center.
Bido.
You go and get loans and stuff. Higher purchase.
But I used to tell my dad, I think you are cutting my mom, so you gave her a machine.
Your dad tuned your mom with a sewing machine.
20 U. So it was like, and then he would...
What? Those were beautiful days.
But I mean, 20
you just tuned someone with a sewing machine.
Nowadays, I don't even know
you have to use a Mercedes C200.
You see why I don't take people on a date.
But you own a BMW motorbike. Don't even talk here.
That's my life. Please. That's my happiness. Hey.
So I think your mom is boyish. Or your mom had a soft spot for you. Did she fight for you? Did she... did she think like, no, I understand him, this is where the world is going, like...
Maybe she did to some extent, but at the same time also, because again, both parents, male or female,
and then in those days,
jobs were the key, not professions. So it was still, she still had her own questions, but not as much. But and later is when I came to understand where my dad was coming from, was really trying to understand, am I committed to this new thing that I am looking for?
So a lot of times, even for African parents, like, or even parents generally, now that you're a dad, and tell me if that's sort of the way. These guys are dad. For all those girls who he's been lying to,
come back for your refund.
I'll refund. So is the issue sometimes not even like is the path that you want to take, is are you committed to walk this path through the potholes, through the ups and the downs? Are you ready? Because they don't want you to, they know what it means if you do not go to the end. So and now as a father, and looking back, before we get into you getting into London Fashion Week, New York Fashion Week, now as a father and looking back at how you were raised, what are some of the things that maybe you look back and say, oh my God, I ended up being that person that I thought I'd never be, in terms of maybe the way you raise your kids or how you look at them, or you realize everything is the same. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Or how have you raised your kids differently? And tell us about your kids. You don't have to say their names, but just say their ages, so people can know not to fuck with you when when they see you in the streets.
Wow, okay.
Okay, let me put it out there. He's got Kaveke's kids are above teenagers. They're
all above 20.
They're all above 20. So don't mess with this man. His kids can katia you. So that's the point here. His kids can buy you a sewing machine.
Yeah.
I tell them he has only boys and 3 girls. 2 boys, 3 girls.
Come on.
Moving on.
I don't have that. No.
I'm not trying to put your business out there. What's wrong with you?
What do you mean I have all those kind of kids?
I'm trying to keep your family by not saying every one of your put all the information out there.
But now you're scared of some potential.
So they'll know you're responsible.
When I have many.
Kaveke has 5 kids and they're all above 20.
Oh my God.
So now,
when did I start?
but now your real kids will be like, I didn't have siblings.
Yeah, he's gonna call just now.
Anyway, it's 2 kids, guys.
Yeah.
So how is it raising those kids? And because I know like your son loves something called the engine. Your son he will remove the engine of a plane and put it back together. He will remove the engine of a motorbike, of a car, of a tractor. That's your son. When you look at him and you look at the world now, do you give him the same support your dad would give you then? Or do you think, oh my God, no, my son wants to be a mechanic? Is that how you look at it?
No, well, the way I look at it, Anto, is I think because I managed to do what I wanted to do, and I was given that leeway, yes, with a bit of resistance, because that's very normal, because such professions were not big at the time. Yeah. So the fact that they allowed me to do that is equivalent to right now telling me, go ahead, son, you do you. Yeah. We'll support you 100%. Yeah. Okay. So it's equivalent to present time. Yeah. And one of the things that I always make fun of, especially my friends who would ask me about, parenthood and all that, and it is how I appreciate the fact that, especially mom, she took away some of the privileges so that we can learn to be people who can take care of ourselves. And when I say take care of ourselves, that when we were, I think I was in class 6, if I'm not wrong, she got rid of, like a house help, and she created a duty roster. So every one of us had to do chores. It was not like you can, because like you'll have someone to do your cleaning and everything. Wake up
and everything is sorted for you.
Yeah, and there were certain principles that she taught us as boys, especially because we were 3 boys and 1 girl. And some of the principles that she made sure that we understood is cleanliness, and especially cleanliness from our own personal clothing. We take for granted the underwear. A lot of us, and I know I'm going to poke a few people on this, is because your underwear in the garment is something very personal. This is not something that should be cleaned by someone else other than yourself. And this is what we learned, and this is some of the things now I wanted to also, I was teaching my kids, is to understand that yes, you have probably the privilege of having somebody do the different duties in the house, but you as an individual need to know how a house functions. And one of my friend who is a girl said that I'm so domesticated. So
gosh.
I was like, but
you're a nyau. You're a cat.
I'm like, but this is the thing.
Themselves, they're always clean.
They're always clean. You're making sure that. So anything to do with a house, and especially with male. Yeah. We assume, even now, whether you're educated or not, people still believe that men are not supposed to be doing duties in the house.
Is that why men, like, especially like bachelors, or even sometimes you find even men who have like wives, but they have like one of those like day scholar cleaners who come to home, and they have them clean their boxers.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know about you, but I know there's a lot of people who are very okay with their house helps washing their underwear.
But that's fine.
But now you see, for me, it's worse when there's a wife in that house, and she allows the house help to wash the underwear of the husband.
But the wife is not supposed to do that.
I know, even if the thing is allowing, not doing it. Allowing, like no. You do your own. Why would you let someone else?
But that's the thing. If you compare the kind of, and that's why I worry a lot, especially because everybody is preaching about the girl child and girl child. Yeah. But they are forgetting that masculinity chivalry.
Yeah.
All these things are now being redefined.
Yeah.
Because what we understand now as those two that I've mentioned is not exactly what they actually mean.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean, and I used to tell my son, it's okay to tear. It's okay to cry. It is not a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
Your emotions are your emotions.
Yeah.
Every human being has emotions.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean if you cry that whoever is looking at you will think you're weak.
Yeah.
No, expression. But you express yourself and then you explain or you make people aware of this is not about you. This is about me. This is about my balance. I'm expressing myself because I need to have balance in my life. So that is one of the things that I kept, trying to teach them. And then understanding there is difference of teaching a girl. I would say teaching, not really teaching, inspiring your child, male child, and inspiring your female child. There has to be a difference. You cannot have both. I mean, you're doing the same things.
Exactly,
You're teaching them different roles in society because at the end of the day, they'll have to do their part as individuals, and you will not be there.
But you're also saying not that in terms of even now, since we're getting to gender norms, you're also saying that not that yes, I'm inspiring them differently, but I'm inspiring them so when they are out there in the world, they're able to live with each other. If he has a girlfriend, if she has a boyfriend and that stuff, they're able to live with them without carrying all this baggage from a bad bad upbringing. Where they're like, no, me, I don't do that. Me, I'm not told. Me, don't pick me like that because we're told. But now you have a son, he will be the man of the house. But he is able to tell the wife exactly what he's going through. He's able to open up. He doesn't have to cheat to get somebody to speak to or hide himself or be introverted or feel less than in that household. Yes, you're inspiring them differently, but you're inspiring them communally in the sense that they can live with people out there. Because one of the biggest issues I have with, for me, and the reason I have very few friends, and I think that's the reason why, one of the reasons why you're my friend, is because when you look at our moms, for example, teachers, they sort of have the same behaviors. Yes, they did, they were disciplinarians, but there was a level of fun. We can laugh with our moms, we can go and spend the weekend with them. They're like our best friends. We can tell them anything. Because I am always afraid of walking on eggshells when I meet with friends or people who want to be my friends. Because I don't know who you are yangu hivi. Oh, this one you can't talk to them like this. Oh, this one you can't do what. Oh, this one is not. So for me, those baggages are very difficult for me to carry. And I like that you're talking about that balance. But now, before even you're a dad, you're now on your own. So now you've been accepted to the fashion design school. You've gone through it, but now you start traveling the world. Any cultural shocks? This is a life that you wanted, living in Spain for a year. I found out just on Sunday. That I thought you were there for 3 months. I found out you were there for a year. Were you speaking the language? Do you have any kids who you've been hiding that we don't know?
The other five. So to make 5.
Do you have any Spanish kids?
Nope.
That you know?
Nope.
That you don't know?
Nope.
Okay. That's what he said.
Well,
until your son, I don't want to say his name, someone DMs him.
I'm actually
Buenos noches.
Buenas noches.
Buenas.
¿Todo bien? Mi hermano.
That Sage had just walked in. Buenas noches. You're my brother.
Yeah, mi hermano.
Mi hermano. Sage, go join Rick's there and order for your tea. That's a very beautiful Sage. Anyway, so now you're in Spain.
Why are you calling her beautiful and I'm here?
Because you'll start disturbing her.
No, I mean, come on.
Leave her alone.
Focus with me.
Leave her alone. So what I want to, I have to give you your tea because I feel like you need something to do with your life. Hold this tea. So the thing that I'm trying to find out from you is,
guy, there is sugar.
It doesn't have sugar.
No.
No, it's okay, Karanga. Just leave it. We're gonna warm it.
Okay.
I thought you're like me. I thought you're trying to be sugarless and all that stuff.
Well, I am, but I'm pelekeni pole pole.
No, by the way, I've been trying. Yesterday, let me see what happened yesterday.
Yeah.
I went and made black tea. Then I put sugar.
Yeah.
Then I was like, Anto, after all that hard work, you want to drink this tea?
Yeah.
I went and poured all of it.
Guy.
I felt so proud, Kaveke. But that's the thing about values, value system. You're taught things by your parents.
Yeah.
When you're older, you can do whatever you want. But then you start telling yourself, let me just make choices.
Yeah.
That I will
right
actually
choices,
live, that I
not
will
just
live
choices.
by.
Yes.
I'm not saying that everybody should not drink sugar. I'm just saying, if you decide you will go on that path,
Yeah.
then take the path fully.
Guy, no, that's what I mean. Shukari.
You even said,
Guy. Then it's gone.
Gosh, I never knew like a lack of sugar would bring these problems. So now you're speaking of balance and focus, you're now in Spain. I mean, tell us your first experience of Spain, all the way leading now.
Yeah.
Now you can start sketching. Sketch
Okay,
stage.
go on.
No, sketch sugarless.
The cup.
Cup. So now you're in Spain, and then you know you go through the whole process, and then you begin your journey of getting to fashion weeks and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's go to Spain.
See, okay.
Si, senor.
Now, interesting, Spain. By the time I went to Spain,
Yeah.
and I was very. I would say, I chose Spain for very specific and obvious reasons because. You know, you can study fashion in all these capital cities, and you have all these capital cities that are known for fashion. But Spain for me was very I selected it based on certain things because also I didn't only want to come back a better fashion designer, but also I wanted to come back with a new language. And I also did my research a little bit just to understand the culture, the Spanish culture.
Yeah.
And I saw some of them are very similar, somehow similar with the Swahili kind of culture. So I also wanted to be somewhere where I can also be inspired by the people themselves and their livelihood. Yeah. So I went to Spain. You're always excited about going to a new place, but then the reality of the fact is that when you get there are all sorts of different things, and my my journey of being surprised all began even from the moment I landed at the airport, because by the time I went there, my Spanish was not that good. I mean, and this is what my siblings all tells me, that your risk level is like high up there. You take
don't
risk.
have no fear.
I do take risk, but I always know, because if I'm being driven by it, it definitely means something. So when I got there, it took me 2 hours to get out of the airport.
What were you doing?
I tell you what.
Is it the checking out or just the shock?
No,
what is happening?
It was the checking out first.
Oh my God.
I'm figuring there, I'm realizing. I want to talk to the guy. So I realized, my God, my Spanish, how do I get even here? So I was expecting it to be our kind of airport. You just chomoka.
Yeah.
You ingia a cab.
Everything
you
is in
tell
English, and
Mwagi, tadoara kerea.
Yeah.
Harea.
Take me there.
Take me there.
I'm going to this school.
I'm going to this, first and foremost, just the door slide open, then I'm thinking, okay, I don't see cabs.
Wow.
So I see a bus. So I'm thinking, okay, this is those buses you chomoka.
But they don't have number 46.
They've got no numbers.
23.
Me and my many
111.
luggages.
Yes.
I'm thinking, easy tu ni kupanda. It's just climbing and going.
Yeah.
So I didn't ask the guy. So I thought it was the ones that get you to area where you have all these cabs.
Yes.
So I enter. So I'm seated right at the end, and I'm seeing the guy looking at me from the mirror there, and people are coming out one by one.
Yeah.
Finally, it was me.
Yeah.
So he's looking at me, and
why are you not leaving?
Yeah, you're not coming out. So I'm saying obvious, because I've not reached where I'm going.
Yeah.
We go around like this, only to come back to the same place.
Also, it's one of those like the ones at the airport, like transfer buses. So you're just going.
They brought me
dropped in one place of the airport. You go to the next.
So it's like you go on it and you come out where you'll find your connecting. Mimi sijui, I'm there.
And the guy is thinking, what is
He's looking at this guy over here. What is he up?
What is his
Then
problem?
he talks to me in Spanish.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't get because he was talking fast.
Yeah.
Then I think at some point he did some actions. So now I'm thinking, now he wants me to come out to go where?
To go where? Where am I going?
My bags.
And why is he bringing me back to the same place that
Again,
I was?
it's brought
yeah,
because I'm saying this is the same place I was.
Yeah.
So I go to the information. It's supposed to be customer service, meaning they're supposed to be good in English. So I go and speak in English. The lady looks at me and like, what you talking about, man?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so how do I get out of here? That time, I don't even have money that I've already changed.
Yeah, so you don't have local currency.
I'm still using my dollar.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a long day. We ended up moving around, and eventually when I came out, I had spent like circuits.
You went all the way.
3 rounds.
Just be honest with us. Did you go all the way to become a conductor in Spain? You just Camagera, because what are you doing?
I was like, I'm going back home.
Madrid town.
There was a very good guy who managed to tell me, just take this one, drop off somewhere. He tried to speak a bit of English.
Yeah.
So I got a cab and left.
Was that the first time you ever felt black when you were in Spain? Did you ever feel black?
No,
like,
I didn't.
Sort of now feeling different, or you no?
No, I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't feel it at all. Yeah, I think in Spain it's very interesting. Spain is like they're not racist in that sense.
Yeah.
They're not. You don't feel like that.
Yeah.
You know? They only have an issue with people from North Africa.
Yeah.
But for us, they are curious.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and a lot of people, each time I said I was from Kenya, they were more curious because they would expect me to come from the West African side because it's closer.
Yeah,
they
and then okay, so there's always this interest of what are you doing here, like and in a good way, like
in a good way.
Yeah, like hey, why Spain and you're from all the way from East Africa. So you go into your 1 year. Do you now speak a bit of Spanish at all?
I do. I can still understand. But having said that, I mean, this is how many years ago? This was 2007.
Yeah.
And we don't have a large Spanish-speaking community, especially locals. So you don't have really places to
Is this
practice.
where your love of salsa, kizomba came from? Because you're a very good salsa dancer, and I don't think people know that. Is that where it came from?
No. This was actually, I started this before, and I think that is why I was saying it was very... I selected Spain for that because then I was imagining that I'll still be enjoying the dancing and learn even more. But surprise to me, Spain is not necessarily a place where you actually
go to salsa.
No,
I think it's those those what's the word? Those stereotypes that we have around certain places.
Yes,
it's like going to the States.
Yeah,
thinking that you're gonna like see Jay-Z walking in New York.
Yeah.
Then you get to New York, you're like, hey, this place stinks.
Yeah, you're like,
why does it smell like this?
Also have garbages, all over the place. Yeah.
And it's the same thing. People, for now, there's a TikToker who's gone viral because he's in France, he's American, and he's saying, oh my God, this is like the Middle East. Like this place stinks.
Yeah.
The Eiffel Tower only looks good at night. There's potholes everywhere.
Yeah.
And not to mean that there's no beautiful side of France,
yes,
but it's the Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie story of the danger of a single story.
Yeah.
When you just think this is Kenya, this is Kaveke, this is Anto. Well, you've never really had them speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what we're now trying to get here. So now let's get into the New York Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, because I met you the first time after you just done London Fashion Week, because you're the one who dressed my models and myself for my music video Chips Funga. But that was right after London Fashion Week, and I mean, you were like the talk of the town. Everyone was like, you did such a great job. Everyone was talking about your clothes. I mean, you really cemented yourself as I'm here.
Yeah.
Now I'm here.
Yeah.
This is me. I'm Kenyan and I'm an amazing fashion designer. Doing this whole circuit around the world, what have you learned about yourself, or about people, or about fashion? How has this sort of made you evolve as a human being?
Very interesting. I think it's important to be to travel,
Yeah.
but it's also very important to be comfortable
Yeah.
in where you come from.
Yeah.
There is a beauty of engaging with other people, because when you engage with people, you broaden your aspect and your take of life.
Yeah.
These are all accomplishes that I did not only because I was doing them for myself, but in the back of the mind. Until by the time I was actually getting into fashion, and my struggles, to build up and to be able to get to travel to New York or to London.
Yeah.
In the back of my mind, I thought to myself, I want to be an inspiration to others. That you could be just anybody from anywhere, but as long as you are doing what you love, what you're doing, and there are people who are watching you, you can also be an inspiration to others. So even as I did these things, in the back of my mind, I kept thinking about the generation behind me, the people who are trying or are trying to get into the fashion industry. Are they looking at my success story as a success story that can be their story?
Yeah.
And not just a success story for John Kaveke. And that has been very deliberate all through all my projects that I've done, because these are people who I didn't get to go to these places by me selecting them.
Yeah.
It is them selecting me. They see what I'm doing and they get in touch. So it has changed my perspective as an individual, because when you engage with people who, and when you go to such places, Anto, you always find people who are much more established than you are.
Yeah.
Okay? But you don't get intimidated by such things, because if they can do what they're doing there and you're sharing the same platform, and somebody spotted you because you can be on this platform, it means then you have something to deliver. That they see that you are equal to the people you are on the same platform. Okay? So that for me has always been something that I always carry with myself, is that these opportunities don't come because you are privileged. No, it's because you're doing something good. And you are inspiring other people. So it's never about you. It's always about the bigger picture.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah.
Wow, what a way to sort of end on that note. But before we do that, I want you're supposed to sketch like Sage's new look. Yeah.
Sage.
So so just sketch so we know how.
No, I'm not.
I need my phone, because I want to show you something, and then I want you to tell me what you think about. By the way, who's the most famous person you've met apart from me?
Wow, I actually consider yourself among the famous people in.
Yeah. Let me tell you why. I want you to look at. No,
Anto, the only thing I would say about, not only, the one thing I'll say about you is that I like the way you're very professional. And very considerate and very human. To be a superstar, to be in a position of where you are, is very admirable, because you are able to transform. There's a lot of local artists here in Kenya. I'm not even going far. Just here in Kenya, that they're not very accommodative. And they feel they're in another level vis-a-vis. It's normal to be. It's good to be human.
Exactly.
Come on now.
You know, I just like that it took you 19 years to tell me these things. So sad. This is so sad.
It's like a volcano.
Did you guys? I'm very accommodative. I'm a volcano. So I want you to look in the mirror. No, look here.
Where?
This here.
Okay. iPhone.
Can you focus? My God. I want you to look here. And as you sketch, if you're going to sketch Sage or whatever you normally do,
just sketch something.
I want you to be telling us what you think about this person that you see here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Most handsome guy. Yo. Is that me?
So what are you seeing? What do you see? And with in retrospect, like where you've come from those days of like, Parklands, struggling, losses, gains, ups and downs.
Yeah.
What do you see now?
I'll actually look at it and talk. What I see for me is someone who has gone through life challenges.
Yeah.
And in the present time has balance.
Yeah.
Has focus.
Yeah.
And is okay with himself as an individual.
Yeah.
We tend to think that we need to be around people to be in a certain way.
Yeah.
I'm happy with myself. I'm happy to enjoy my own time.
Yeah.
And I feel accomplished. But at the same time, I still feel that there is still a lot to offer.
Yeah.
So John Kaveke, this is a new journey for you. So inspire more people.
Yeah, that's what's up. I decided to like sort of bring this this idea of like having this people see themselves on the phone.
Yeah.
So they can really tell. 'Cause the thing about, see, now you start sketching.
So you're talking.
But am I holding your hand?
When people are talking, you listen.
Those are old people. Now we have.
I'm old.
You are not a millennial.
But I'm left-handed, eh?
What does it mean when you're left? Does it mean you're smarter than other people?
No. Anto, if I smarter, well, my teacher would differ
But
that.
not STEM. We know you and I when it comes to STEM.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
But-
you and I.
Yeah.
Yes,
you and math.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
Wango, are you left-handed? Oh yeah, so we also have Wango Alfred who's gonna join us in the podcast. He's also a creative like you. I've just remembered that I think I saw him doing stuff left-handed style.
Yeah.
Who are you drawing Ignacio?
If he has hips, yes.
So the reason why I introduced this whole selfie, like you look at yourself. First I love performing selfie by Koffi Olomide on stage, but also is because do you know you are never gonna see your face with your own two eyes unless it's in a photo or in a mirror. You're never gonna see how you look like. You will never see how you look like with your own two eyes.
Yeah.
Unless it's a reflection of who you are.
Okay.
Period. It's either the mirror or a photo that someone has taken or how people view you.
Okay.
So, and a lot of what that means is a lot of times we view ourselves from how other people see us.
Yeah.
I mean, right now as we sit here, I don't know if I'm cringing. I mean, I can tell it, but I can't see and say, oh, I have something here, let me remove it. I'd have to feel it.
Yeah.
So it's important for us to sort of, and someone told me that, for example, in my mom's school, I should take like a huge mirror to the school and have it in one of the alleyways and have kids look at it and affirm to themselves that this is who I am. So when they see themselves, they might be having a bad day or whatever.
Yeah.
They might be not happy. Maybe they didn't finish the homework, so they're in trouble with the teacher.
Yeah.
But always, whenever they get close to the mirror, they should sort of, be more upright. Because, head held high and, and not really with your nose in the air, but your head held high. So I think it's important for us to always affirm and remind ourselves. And really, when you look at the mirror, sometimes you realize, I've come from far.
Yeah.
I have suffered. Look at me now.
But also you have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah, and also be honest and say, there's something about me. Maybe I'm not kind to people. Maybe I need to change. You really have to be, because you see yourself and you see your darkness and your light. So I think that's very important.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Kaveke is doing his sketch here. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in, for watching. And we're going to show you the sketch once Kaveke is done. Not today, because that's the whole point, is for you to be like, oh my God, I want to see how he sketched and what he did. Do you offer any mentorship to any young people who want to,
Oh, Anto, thanks for asking me that question. So recently on mentorship, recently I got an email, not recently, like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
I got an email.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me for mentorship.
Yeah.
And I didn't respond to that email until 2 months later.
Yeah.
So I was going
So you got the email 4 months ago?
No, I got 2 months later, so I responded to it last week.
Okay.
So I was going through my emails.
Yeah.
Then for some strange reason, I was drawn towards this email because I already had opened it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I went to the email and I thought to myself, what an interesting name.
Yeah.
Then I just read and I replied, guess what?
What?
This was a 10-year-old kid
Wow.
who emailed me,
Wow.
asking me about mentoring her.
Wow.
So how I came to know, after I sent the email, 2 days later, the mother called me.
Yeah.
And we spoke on phone and then she told me, Kaveke, do you know the email was actually written by my daughter and I didn't even know?
Wow.
She's that focused about it and she actually selected people to write to and you're the only one who responded.
Wow. Oh my God.
So I'm supposed to meet her next week to start training.
Wow, that is so beautiful. But even
So I
just
do
the
offer.
power of like how she sees herself.
Exactly.
And she's like, nothing can stop me. And that's the thing I like about these kids. This Gen Z, and now I don't know how she's like, what, Gen what? She's like, Gen why not?
Yeah.
Generation why
Yeah,
not?
they don't, yeah.
Is that, look at the power of digital, like the fact that she's able to write, she's
Yeah.
eloquent,
Yeah.
she believes in herself.
yeah.
Wow, that's really beautiful.
So yeah, I do offer mentorship and I don't go crazy about it.
Yeah.
You have to give me X amount of money. No.
Yeah.
Come on. This knowledge, I got it for free. I was given this talent for free.
Yeah.
The least I can do is inspire you.
Awesome.
Get you started.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest is up to you.
When people like Wango Alfred, when he was 10 years old, what do you think he was doing with his life if he wasn't chasing Amfara?
He was on a beta.
No, probably he was holding batteries, biting them. Biting the battery so you can put, you can do what? Put a motor. No, that's the motor. Then we put a paper.
Yeah.
The propeller. He propel.
He was busy drawing in the toilet or something.
No, but I think Wango Alfred, guys, you'll know who Wango Alfred is. Go Google him if you don't know. I think he was probably Tufumpara Ro, which means swimming naked in the river. Because he loves hiking, so it's possible.
Yeah, he could have gotten the love for nature.
Very
at that
possible.
time.
Yeah, he was probably like, what's that thing, the one that stings you? We call it a fire in Kikuyu. It's stinging nettle or something like that. He was probably suffering the effects of that thing when it touches you like this, the plant.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the one we used to use in the bushes as well.
You used to use that to wipe your booty in the seriously. Yo, man, listen.
Hardcore kids.
I made it suffer like that.
No.
Let me tell you, let me be honest. Growing up in Kawangware here, we used, and by the way, I don't know about you guys, but we used newspapers.
Hey,
I think that's why I think that's why I hold the newspapers, because I'm always like, if the world ends, I might use.
You have your paper.
We used to use newspapers so that there's a way they were cut, then they were stuck on some like hook, and then you tear them. What you do is you take the newspaper and you rub it, so you make it a bit. Let me remove this. I show you.
That's my sketch.
Remove one of these. So this is a newspaper, right? And you're in the loo pit latrine, so it's not this big. So you sort of play around with it like this. You make it a bit softer. So the whole by the way, that's why I think when you grow up like in the hood like me, you're always skinny, because you're there shitting, doing the whole thing, and then as you do it, you're also rubbing the newspaper slowly. So by the time you're done, it's also softer.
And your hands
so
are
you're
softer.
Not.
That's why you have.
Guys,
let me feel your hands. Guys, you're not working here.
Gazette.
Gazette.
Guys, you know what? Thank you. Just let's connect on social media. It's Unlock Your Soul with Anto Neosoul. Thank you so much, Kaveke, for making time for us. And go to my social media. You're going to see the sketch that Kaveke has made. Bye. after all that, I hope we just didn't leave you in stitches of laughter, but also that we've stitched at least your belief that you can be able to be anything that you want to be. And I hope that you will design your life just as you intend it to be. Also, find us in a design kind of way on Instagram at Unlock Your Soul Pod, on TikTok at Unlock Your Soul Podcast, and on YouTube. Subscribe, Unlock Your Soul Podcast. And let's look forward to next week, where we'll be talking to Rick Spoit, who claims and professes boldly that he loves sex, and he wears it boldly like, I don't know. What do you wear boldly? This is Rick Spoit.
I talk about some sexual abuse that I went through as a 20-year-old. And, the BBC did that story. They translated it into many other languages. Man, and so many, because, like when they translate, they air it in their BBC outlets all over the world.
Yeah.
I get messages from men all over the world.
Yeah.
Telling me, fam, I can't even talk about this in my culture. You're so strong, you're so brave.
Yeah.
And it makes me see how it's the global man that is in shit. It's not just black men. It's the global man.